Yeah.
And I saw that one for well quite a while before I saw looked at it. So that guy was there. He was the captain.
Uh-huh.
That one long. He reminded me of him. Well, like too. He
Uh-huh.
was one of these. He kind of a. He never run around barking orders and pulling rank and stuff like that.
Yeah. So he starts out, and how many in his squad? Is that 28? He's in charge of 28 guys?
Pardon?
Was he in charge of 28 guys?
And our platoon was 30, 38, I think.
So 38. So out of the
There's
38.
4 squads, 8 each. That was 32. Plus, let's see, 4 squads, 8. There's 32. Then you had platoons, sergeants, that'd be 33. Then column, that'd be 34. And you had I had 2 section leaders. I think maybe it would be not to 30.
So Nicholson is in charge of about 38 guys.
Yeah.
Well, how many of them out of the 38, how many of them were there at the end?
What?
Out of that 38 guys, how many of them were there at the end?
After him?
No, how many were still left?
How many were still left?
Out of the 38.
Well, let's see, probably.
So you had you and Simmons and
Yeah.
Beehive and Woody.
There was see, about half of the platoon was captured at Lemberg, so
Yeah.
we lost them in about a month.
So you're down to about 18.
Some was replacements that came and went.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But out of the first 38,
I,
you mentioned about 6 guys.
well,
You mentioned
quite a turnover,
You mentioned Duncan and Simmons and Woodard and
Yeah, just about. Change how good guys can get along. Being, there's hardly any. Well, there was some disagreements,
yeah.
guys that get. I think, but I can always think about him once in a while. Whenever, I don't know why it happened, I remember when you got into a house someplace, and they'd probably stay in this house overnight because it'd be part of our objective or what, these villages and that. He would get in, he'd find the table, and he'd put all kinds of stuff on top of the table. Then he laid down under the table flat on his back with his steel helmet on. I still lay there, and he starts snoring. He wants to get under a table.
Uh-huh. Protection.
He had some cover. Maybe he felt a little better if he had a little more cover over the top. Well, he should never have been an infantryman,
They didn't ask him, huh?
He should have been a chaplain's assistant. He'd have been a perfect one. Bragg. He was sitting there like a lost dog, on his bunk.
Uh-huh.
Didn't know anybody. He wasn't the kind of guy that really would be real. So he just kind of sitting there. So I kept looking at him. I thought, boy, that poor guy. So I went over and sat down with him and started talking to him. So he said, he figured, well, I got a friend,
Uh-huh.
He just said he needed somebody that
Yeah.
he could visit with and talk to. And
Well, you help him get through the war.
Baptist, he's pretty devout.
Yeah.
They're pretty strong at the time. I remember he used to say once in a while, "Are you saved?" He'd say.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'd say, "Well, I hope so." And I didn't I never knew anybody that kind of used this, that would ask you.
Yeah.
Still, they went together all the time. They always got along.
Uh-huh. Southern boys.
Yeah. In relations with people and what you think?
Yeah, the graphic, I mean,
The,
you can see that in a movie.
yeah.
And if you don't know about the person, it's just graphic.
Yeah.
You got to get to know the people.
That's. I hadn't found those letters up in the attic when they met. We never wrote it down.
Well, that made I mean, you told stories in the other books, but that made a big difference. You get those letters. Because that's puts you in the mind of a 19-year-old boy. So man, I should say.
Here.
Well, you grew up. You grew up in a house of believers.
Yeah.